Hello, guys, and welcome along to Returning at Home with me, Paul Finley. Uh, I'm at a local club on Tuesday night and seeing a great demonstration by Brian Best. Brian, this one's for you, mate. I decided to make a couple of these for the house because they're dead handy, and I would just forgot what you call them, as you do. No, you might notice this sticker on this. See when you're making a video and you're that busy concentrating on stuff you're doing, you forget the name of things. And I do it all the time. And you'll see me from time to time going to say something, and then there's just total silence and on to something else because I can't remember the name of the thing I was talking about. A jardinière, it's a French. Anyway, it's it's to see if you don't have a coffee table, you can bring these things round. If somebody comes in for a cup of tea and you don't have to pull a table round to them to set their tea on, you can bring this wee stand. That's what it is. We stand for setting your beer, your glass of wine, your tea or coffee on. So uh, Brian done a great demonstration on Tuesday night, and I was really impressed by him. So I thought I would give it a go and make one or two for the house. So what I have on the lathe here is a piece. This is a piece of African hardwood, 2 inch by 2 inch roughly. I just cut it out of this big piece here. Uh, they are 4 inches by 4 inches. These things, we got a load of them, and the name for the hardwood is Bogassi. Apparently, it's an African hardwood, so that's what we have been told. I can tell you a few things about it. It stinks, for one, when you first cut it, or when you first turn it. The shed smells of it. Uh, I heard Brendan saying one time it smelled like wet dogs. That's what he put it as. But the smell goes away once you start sanding it and put your finishing stuff on it. So I cut a couple of pieces up, and this is what it is. I have enough there to make 4 of these, and I have a load more outside sitting in my drying shed. So the overall length of this, I'm not too sure on the length. I just went into the house and measured the height of the armrest on the chair, and it's about 26 inches. But you have to remember you have a base and you have a top. And the thing Brian said on Tuesday night about him, you want to make your base with a bit of weight in it. Well, I'll have no problem with the weight in this thing because this stuff is heavy and you'll knock it over. So we're going to rough this down to the round, and we'll put some sort of a design in it. We'll not go mad on it, seeing it's the first one. But I just thought to explain to you what I have here, and I need to reposition that because it's not in half and half here. I'll be taking too much timber off one side. Oh, come on. This is not cut actually uh, totally square. I just stuck it in and sorted what I think was 2 inches. So that looks better. Just see what that's like. Uh-huh. Right, that's okay, that's better. So I have it in between centers. Right, we'll have it back. Anyway, I can cut that bit out. Anyway, we have this. Is roughly about 26 inches long. It's 2 inches by 2 inches. and it's a piece of African hardwood called bogasi. We got this, maybe 6 years ago. It was all going to landfill. One of our members in the club, Ricky, he goes around the countryside servicing fire extinguishers, and he came across this company which was bringing in these big windmills and stuff, and all the timber. He seen the timber sticking out of the skip, and he inquired about it. So we were able to go down with a couple of lorries and trailers and lift everything we could see. I wouldn't like to guess the price of this piece here to buy at. And it's just not cheap. But anyway, the company that shipped the stuff over to Northern Ireland didn't want it back because it cost them more to ship it back. So it was all going to landfill. So we are repurposing it and making good use of it. So, right, where do I start? We need to rough this down. So we've got the spindle roughing gouge. It's freshly sharpened. And I'm going to get my face shield on for this, guys, because this is pretty hard stuff, and I think it's going to be very sore in the face if you're not wearing it. As always, make sure everything's locked down tight before you start the lathe up. Spin up a hand, make sure it clears the tool rest. Make sure your variable speed on your lathe, if you have it, just turn down, and then increases the speed to where it's manageable. Now I'm setting it around about 1100. It's going to contradict me now. It's 1080, 1078 or 1080 RPMs. So I think that's it. Down. Yep. Nice. Spindle. Right, we're going to take this headset off now because we've got it roughed down, so I can near enough say it's safe enough to take that off. Right. That was pressing on the earphones, and it wasn't very nice. Right, so you want to check for any lumps or bumps. Get your steel ruler. If you have a longer one, even, it's the very thing to check it out. And I just so happen to have one. And it'll tell you if it's flat or not. And there's just a wee ridge in the middle here, just slightly, not a lot. It's not that crucial because you're going to be turning this on as a spindle, and it's still a wee rocker. Just I would like to take that out just. Try it again. No rocking this time. As you can see, it's nice and flat the whole way along. So I'm confident that that is same size the whole way along. Let's see what it's ended up. We'll get our calipers over and see what the thickness is. Where's my ruler? Inch and 3/4. So we took 1/4 of an inch off that, so that's not too bad. What you do want to do is make it too thin, because the length of this from headstock to tailstock is just over 26 inches. You make it any thinner, there is a bit of a vibration in it. So the other thing you have to remember when you're doing spindles, work from a tailstock end down to the headstock. And the other thing is, we want to get it into the chuck and the top piece onto it. So this is roughly, it's only rough guess. Might have to set this back a wee bit more. What I'll do is I'll cut the 2 tannins, bring them down to my thickness, and get the 2 pieces of timber I'm going to use for basting the top, and get those turned and get over an overall height with the 2 bits of timber on it. I think that's it's very handy. Brian pointed out on Tuesday night. Make your tannin size the size of your forcing bit, and then you don't have to worry about the hole you're drilling in the bottom piece to take the tannin, because you're going to drill it out with a forcing bit. And that's a very good tip. And wee tips like that there help newbie turners along. So wonder would that 35mm be too big. I'll use a 30. I'm going to use a 30mm forcer bit for the tannin. You know, so I think a 35 would be alright. It's only 5mm. So we'll adjust some calibers to 35mm and just use the Forstner bit itself. You want to take it a wee bit undersized because you want to allow a wee bit of room for the glue. Okay, so I have my caliber set, so now we can turn the tannin on this here. In case you didn't get this at the start, this is to remind me what you call this. Because I keep forgetting things, especially when you're making a video and you're talking and stuff and trying to keep you informed what I'm doing, and you go to mention something about the tailstock and you can't remember. So I put a visual aid on it, and I had one up in the on the headstock, because believe me or not, it's very easy to get forget the name of things. People put it down to old age, but I don't think it is. It's just sometimes you just forget. So I'm just using a breeding parting tool here. And if this is too long, we can always cut a bit off it. You can hear the noise of that. I don't know if you can pick it up in the microphone because I have noise cancellation out in this, but you might be able to hear it. So you want to bring your cannon down the side and then mix the different cuts and then bring them all into one. And we'll just give it a wee clean up. And we're just going to put a couple of grooves in this, and this help the glue to get in and hold it. Okay, so that's that one done. So okay, that's that. So we can always check that one. We'll get the piece, the bottom and top made. Again, putting a few lines in it to allow the glue just to go in when we go to glue the piece. So I don't want to divide this up yet because I want to give it the overall height with the bottom and top on it, and then I can divide this up and then I can put some shape into this. Okay, I've rubbed a couple of blanks out in the bandsaw there. This is the same timber. They're probably oversized for what I need. This is 2 inches and it's going to roughly about, they'll probably end up with about 6.5. This bit has a bit bigger because this is the bottom, and it'll probably end up around 7.5, so it's not too bad. I think we'll start with a bigger one first. Right, but I had a malfunction with my lathe there, so that's just sitting at 800 RPMs. So what's the overall width of that pole? 7.5 was close, wasn't it? It just needs a wee bit of refining. So this is going to be the front. So we can drill our hole for tanning. So we'll do that now. That'll be one less thing we'll have to do. We're using the 35mm Forstner bit. You can make it any size you want. And just making it this size, because it's giving a good size of a tannin. Right, we'll start this up and just turn your speed down when you're drilling any holes, especially when you're using a Forstner bit. That's just a wee bit too fast still. Around about 500, 600. That's sitting about just 600 there. And you want a good depth on your mortars so that your tannin sits well into the piece. So you can bring your piece up now and you can try it in it. And tail slocks in the way. So you can go on a wee bit more, but those tannins, you still got that one on that side, so we can't really check that. So, but this one does. It goes on no problem. So I want to take it in a wee bit further. Get the maximum tannin you can on it, and it'll really help steady it up. So say if you're using a smaller bit of timber and thickness, then you just make your tannin according to the piece of timber you have. Don't go by my measurements. I'm just roughly showing you what I'm doing. So I'm not going to go any further than that because I'm going to dish the bottom so when it sits on your floor that the thing will sit up right and not fall over. There's no rock on it, so I'm going to take a bit of that out in the bottom and see what the depth is in that. 30mm. Oh, there's plenty of room. I'll just stick the Forstner bit back in again. It's quite deceiving sometimes when you have the Forstner bit in the hole and you're looking at it. Right. That should be me at my maximum depth. Put that over our later. We're going to use that for the top. Remember, this is the bottom we've turned. Okay, we'll just check our thing now, and that's lovely, and it's nice. Goes right in, and I'm sure that one will go in too. You want to cut that bit off. So this is the base. So I'm going to do a bit of finishing to this, shaping, just more or less to this, and then we'll get the other piece. Where's my rough bowl gauge? Okay, so increase the speed. Now, shape is another thing you have to consider. So want this to flow in, go in and dip up and then come up. So I need to remove quite a bit of timber from the outside. I'm going to put my head face shield on again. That's not too bad. Right. We're going to take this off and leave that. We'll sand that later. But for now, that's where I want to be with it. So there's the base and the stem, or the spindle for the middle. If it's laying over to one side, it's just a wee bit of shape, so it's the wood, it's not the way it's sitting. So once you get it to the round and then you flatten, it'll be fine. So spin that by hand, make sure it's clearing the good rest. And we'll need a roughing gouge, or spindle, or not a spindle gouge, or bull gouge, and turn your speed down because it turned it up. So we know that fits in there. So we'll need to cut the R end off this wee bit to get that, make sure it fits on this side. And that fits in okay, so that's both ends. Fit in, no bother. So I'll set this back over out of the way. Quite a bit of tear right there. We'll need to fix that. We're just doing some rewind nose scraper. It was doing a good job of the top piece, so I need to lift my tool rest. see what that's like. Yeah, it's cleared a good bit of that up. So we'll just increase the speed. Just check the bottom off for flatness. And there seems to be a wee bit in it. Just use that cue. Just flatten that in. And I think that's more or less where I want to be with that. Yeah, just leaves that wee bit of a ridge there. So that'll sound okay. So okay guys, I'm back today, day 2. I finished the base and the top off camera because it involved a lot of sanding. You did see me rough turning them to more or less where I left it at the sanding. So the sanding's done on the base and the top are sitting over on the bench, all nice and polished. I've been working this out to get some beads and overs and stuff into it, and I brought it down to nearest measurement would work out equal. You don't have to do that, you can do whatever you want. So I started off with, there's a wee bead here and sort of a wee cove to fold that over. So I'm just going to start there. get that sanded now, which will involve a lot of sanding. So more or less, that's where I want to be. It's not the greatest bit of spindle turn I've ever seen. This wood is a wee bit challenging, I should say. But we'll see what way it turns out. I'll bring this back when I'm near got it all finished and sanded and ready to apply the finish. Because okay guys, I'm back in the shed today. Last night where I left off, I was gluing this together. So this is the finished piece. As you can see, it's sanded up nice, and I've got a coat of mercury crystalline wax on it, and it's not too bad. I'm happy with it. I did have a couple of problems with this timber, as I said in the video. It's quite hard, so it is very hard in fact. And so that's the base, and that's the top, and overall height of that is 36 inches, and it's just a nice comfortable height to sit beside your chair and put a cup of tea on. I decided to give that a go after seeing Brian Best's demo on Tuesday night at Ulster Wood Turning, and it's something I never thought about, and I thought it was a very good piece to make. It's functional and you can use it about the house, especially if a guest coming in and you're making them tea or coffee and you don't have a coffee table in front of in your living room. You can bring these out, set them beside them and set their cups on it. So I thought, yes, that's the very project for me. So it's done and dusted. We're waiting now. Plenty of weight in the bottom of this timber. The timber is very dense and heavy, so there should be no problem with it falling over or anything. I took the top down quite a bit so there was no weight on the top. All the weight is in the middle and the base, and I just put my wee logo in the bottom. I had a wee mishap I will say no more about that. You can guess why that's there. uh, when I was first making the tannins on this piece, I decided to make them quite long, and I taken into account for to turn the foot off and to make this flat. I got away with it on the top piece, but on the bottom piece, when I was taking the chucking point off, uh, uh, there appeared a wee hole, and so you only need to make this tannin to fit in this 30 mil. I won't be on 30 mil, thinking a larger tannin, well glued in, it'll not, it'll give it more stability. But that's not the case. So you don't need to go with a big tannin on it. And just by luck, I was managed to get out of it by putting my logo in there. It wasn't a big hole; it was only a wee pinhole. But if I had left it, you would have seen it. Choking here. The other thing about this stuff here, it is terrible dusty. Everything covered in that colour, the dust. I'm still mopping it up. That's the only thing about it. It's a nice timber to turn, and it comes up quite good. And that's all I have to say about that, guys. So thanks for watching the video, and I'm going to do some experimenting for Monday's demo. I've got a couple of pieces in mind, so I won't say too much about that in case it doesn't come off, because I could change my mind between now and Monday afternoon. But anyway, I just thought I would show you that the finished piece, and it's just an ordinary flat piece. You could even set a wee fork coaster in that if you wanted, or you could recess that to set one of those cork coasters into that. That's another idea I thought about after I had finished this. When it was too late, I could have done that there and then and got a wee coaster, a wee cork one to set in there. That would have been fine. But anyway, it's done now, and it'll be put to good use. So, I forget the name of it. French or so. So, good weapon, you know. So, anyway, guys, I'll say cheerio for now, and we'll see you in the next one. All the best. Bye.